We are back for Mixtape Monday, my tarot maniac. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So we've got a couple of questions on the post for Mixtape Monday from the other day. So I am going to do those two questions, but I'm also going to mix up some of my own questions that we didn't cover during Diva Week. So remember that this week we're also going to be doing our dearly departed rock stars. We're going to be looking at some of the bad boys of rock and roll as well, dipping into some channeling. And I am doing a video on Sundays now for the next few weeks that are going to be doing some teaching tarot. So there is a playlist called A Taste of Tarot in my channel, so you can always go over there and check out some things. I'll be dropping some new things in there. You guys can enjoy as I teach you a little bit of divination and other weird stuff. There's going to be some other weird stuff in there too. So good to be back on regular schedule. We've got everybody is busy in the house. The kittens are venturing out. They had their first sleepover outside last night. We cannot keep them contained to the lanai anymore. Trust me, they are all going to get fixed, and we're keeping an eye on them at all times. But Mama keeps busting them out. So no matter what we do to secure it, she keeps busting them out. So it looks like they are going to be indoor, outdoor. Well, not indoor. They're semi-indoor, outdoor cats. Like I said, we are going to be working on the other part of the basement. We're going to make that my space, and the door will be open so they can come in and out. We have an outside access there. So I'll get some fresh air. We'll burn some incense. We'll have some fun on that side of the house. It's a different third of the basement. So going to be super fun. Not carpeted, but we'll work on that too. So good to be back, guys. Good to be back. Let's get busy. Oh, by the way, after this video drops, you are going to get Bon Scott. We're going to be talking about Bon Scott. He's our dead rock star that we're going to be talking about. So let's get going on Mixtape Monday. I'm going to bring up that card view. Thank you, StreamYard, for fixing the glitch. And Karen had asked me a question. Is there a possibility that northern Georgia could be in the path of a hurricane this season? So I did see that there was a tropical storm. I saw this just watching the weather. I love the weather. I don't know about you guys, but I love the weather. But I did see that there was a tropical storm that was downgraded. So things have kind of chilled out there for the current storm. But she's saying this season. So let's see how bad this hurricane season is going to be for the great peach state of Georgia. Not the country, the state. And we are using the Radiant Rider. Wait, I just got a new fresh copy of this. I do have one that I teach with, but it's got stickers all over it for my students so they can see how I put keywords on there. So we are going to be using this nice clean deck. How is Georgia going to fare? Northern Georgia specifically. How is it going to fare during this hurricane season, which I think we're already in. I think it starts in June. I think it starts in June. Hurricane season looks like it's not going to be too pleasant. We're going to see it coming, though. Things from the past. Looks like we're going to have some trouble this season. It looks like those hurricanes are going to be unpleasant, but we will see them coming. It's not going to be like, you know, surprise, here's a hurricane for you. Over here, Ace of Wands, I think. First storm, second storm, third storm. So it looks like the first storm that comes through is really going to be something wicked this way comes. It's going to be something that is expected. All of them look expected, but it does look like that first one is going to be a little bit funkier. Are we going to have anything on the line of like Katrina or any Sandy, any of those? 10 of Pentacles. No, I don't think so. I think regular precautions taken, I think we're going to be in a good spot. As the storms come up, we will do some psychic weather casting here. My good friend Debbie, who is down in the Panhandle, and she is one of my students. She loves the weather too. She's got me turned on to all these crazy weather channels. So we will keep looking at that. While we're talking about the weather, Mount Etna spewing up a storm. What can we expect from Mount Etna coming up? Are we going to see increase, decrease? What are we going to see? Is this the tip of the iceberg, tip of the volcano? What's gonna happen? Etna, how you doing? 2 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands underneath, Swords in the back, Tower card up top, and the Page of Wands. I think we're going to continue to see some slow burn the way that it's been. This Tower card is alarming, but that Page of Wands makes me feel a little bit better because that says that we are going to have just kind of that mediocre idea of an eruption. I hate to say that idea of an eruption because that's not really what's happening right now, but I don't think it's going to get any worse. What can we look for in the immediate future? King of Pentacles, there's a more stable energy. I think we're going to see, that lava flow creating new territory, new lands, covering things up. It is really fertile soil. The volcanic residue that's left there, it does become very fertile soil after some time. It's going to be unpleasant and no one's going to really enjoy it, but I do think it's going to subside after a bit. As most volcanoes do, to be a psychic to say that. This tells me that it is released. This is the suitcase position. This is ideal conditions. We do want her to kind of settle down. Miss Etna over there. Tower card. Let's take a look at that because that's what's happening in the moment. That is the present moment. What is going on with that? 7 of Cups. It's anybody's game. She can go either way. And they do need to alleviate the pressure underneath the surface. That is what's going on when volcanoes are erupting. Let's take a closer look. I don't like these answers that we're getting. I don't know if you guys don't like them either. They seem kind of garden variety to me. So I want to take a little bit of a look. So let's go deep under Etna. Deep under Etna. Let's go deep under Etna. What is the pressure like down below? Because we know the pressure is, oh, we got a card that jumped out. We know the pressure is coming out at the top. It's being relieved, but what's happening below? We're going to look here on, if I were looking at Mount Etna facing south, this is the left. So I'm looking at Etna facing south, left, middle, right, middle, right. And what I'm dipping into are the caverns, the courses, the tubes of lava that's coming up, the pressure valves, if you will. So on the left, we're looking here, High Priestess in reverse. Here we've got the 9 of Cups in reverse and the 4 of Pentacles. So I do feel that this is already free flowing. The right side is already free flowing. That's what's coming up. This I don't like. This, I think there is some serious pressure in some larger avenues. I don't know what they're called. The arteries, let's call them the arteries. There's some larger arteries that are still not quite moving. So I think things are going to get more dramatic before they calm down. So let's just sit tight in the next week or two. I think we're going to see some more activity that is from those center arteries. It's going to push right up. over here. I think these are the ones that are already free flowing and the pressure is kind of relieved over here. Now this with our high priestess, what do I get from her? This feels like it's solid rock. This feels like this area is not pushing forward just yet. The pressure is far, far, far off my screen, way below here. This feels like solid rock, not a big deal at this moment. If there is a larger eruption from the bottom, this rock will blow out. So this is avenues where the lava and whatnot can come out. This feels like if there's a bigger eruption, it's going to break away all of this rock. And I do feel like, again, if I'm looking south, this is the left side of Etna, I feel like it will almost blow out of the side. So while we're looking at that, let's shift up to the town of Blaten. Now, the town of Blaten had the mountainside and the glacier collapse onto the town. I think 90% of the town is gone. I don't know how many fatalities they had. I know there were some people missing, but what is going to happen with that mountain over there and the glacier? Are we going to see continued degradation in that area? Not necessarily restricted just to Blaten, but to the surrounding mountains. Are we going to see more instability? That was kind of a shocking thing that we saw. It was a large crack in the side of the mountain and it all fell down. So are we going to see more in Blaten? Going on to the mountain, we do have the instability where the town was that is now covered by the mountain itself and by part of the glacier. What do we see when we go up on the mountain there? Two of Cups, the Lovers. This looks good. This looks much more stable. I don't think we're going to see too much. I think the unstable parts have come off and everything is kind of settled into where it needs to. I do feel like the exposed part of the mountain is very stable now and feels very, very firm to me. Down below, there's still going to be some trickling and crumbling, and that's closer to where that glacier part was. So there is something on the other side that I think they're going to see some erosion, some breaking away. I don't know, avalanche activity. I don't know if you call it an avalanche if it's still dirt and snow, but I do think if we're looking at, here's the town of Blaten and I'm looking at the mountain here, this is the part that came down. On the other side of it, there's some instability here that I think they're going to see some roll down. I don't know if there's a town on that side. So there we go. Let's talk about star 54438 asked me, is Esther Hicks, the lady that channels Abraham, is she connected to an evil entity while doing that? I don't know who Esther Hicks is, but I'll take a look. I'm not going to impugn another psychic, but I will take a look. Is Esther Hicks contacting a pure spirit? Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, Eight of Wands, and Ace of Wands in reverse. So I do think that she's connected with a communicating spirit. Is it a spirit? It's a spirit that is giving her directives, not necessarily birthing those ideas. The communication is sound and clear. But I do think that there is something going on with her reception. And that can happen like if we are sick or if we have certain medications will make it harder to be psychic. I know there are certain things that make me much more psychic. But I'm not talking about any like illicit things or anything like that. But there could be, possibly an ailment. I know with my neck and back injury, it did make it very difficult to activate that pineal gland and to get my chakras in alignment. So that did kind of pull me back a little bit, set me back a little bit, not a lot. I was very cognizant of what it was doing. So there it is. Now, I'm going to pause for 1 second because I got a whole list of questions. So, great question that I got. In the last 24 hours, I heard Harry and Meghan have been given less than 2 weeks to produce viable birth records or they will be subpoenaed. Is this true? Is it true? We're going to do one card before we go any further. Boom. Strength in reverse. That is a level of impatience there. So this looks like a little bit of impatience. So is it about Archie? I couldn't remember his name. 8 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 4 of Swords. I think the walking away and the reluctance to give them anything is frustrating some party. Let's put it that way. And is it about the other one? Fool in reverse, High Priestess, and the 3 of Pentacles. I do think this has something to do with that name change business. So I think perhaps they're having to clarify the name before they go forward. Let's talk about that name change business because we didn't talk about it last week. So Harry apparently went to Earl Spencer and had talked about possibly changing his name to Spencer. What was Earl Charles Spencer's real feeling about this? Oh, he is jealously hoarding that name for himself. He really does not want Harry to be a part of it because I do think that Harry is going to trump him in some fashion because he does outrank him technically right now in terms of title. Harry is a Prince of the Blood. Earl Spencer, even though I think they do have some historic claim to the throne, it looks like this was a bit of gaslighting. Yeah, Harry. I'll treat you right. I'll take care of you. But the reality is, he wants to hog that name up to himself. He wants to be the purveyor of Diana, Princess of Wales, and he does not want to be generous with him. He did say, well, let's see if we can come up with a more creative solution, which we did hear through the news that he said, we can do it, but make sure the kids keep their HRH. Why is that? I think that is because he could have requested security for the children. He maybe could have gotten the crown to pay for some things. Down here, he is not really going to do that. He is inflexible about what he is going to do. And this is Earl Spencer. Here, the Fool, he's just like, yeah, maybe you'll get a fresh new start. There's a lot of gaslighting here with that 7 of Cups. What does Harry think? Did Harry really think that he was going to be able to change his name to Spencer and nobody would really care or notice or whatnot? Did he really think that? Let's see. I do think he was looking for a fresh new start. And I think that this was something that he wanted to do specifically to appease his wife. Why do I think that? We have the Empress in reverse. She doesn't really have a name at this point, even though we all call that woman this one's wife. And we also call her Meghan Markle. She doesn't want to be called Meghan Markle. She wants to be called Meghan Sussex. That's not a last name. That is a title. She can't use that. She does not want to be Meghan Mountbatten Windsor, even though that's a really cool name. She doesn't want that either. I think she is like, I have no name. I gave up my name. I don't have a name anymore. I have no name. I'm just Meghan. I'm just Meghan. So I think this was to kind of quell all of that. I also think that Harry, since he has burned so many bridges, editorial here, since he's burned so many bridges, he doesn't have a last name either. He is Harry Dummy. Harry Dummy. So up there, Page of Pentacles. I have no place to go. I have already jacked up and betrayed my family. The Mountbatten Windsors, that is. Why can't I say Windsor today? So he's already betrayed them. He doesn't have any other place to go. He's got to make up his name. He should be Harry Smith. Harry Smith. Let's call them Harry Smith. Harry and Meghan. Harry and Rachel Smith. That's their new name. So let's see. We're going to look at the next question. So there is a statement from Todd new subscriber, I believe. He says, I believe Meghan was testing the waters. This is with her pregnancy video. Since it tanked and had a huge backlash, she'll say it's a parody. Harry is played by her photographer friend, Jake. Why? Who knows with that one's wife? Let's see. Was that Harry or was that the guy, Jake? So we're going to ask the tarot, was that indeed Harry in that video? Let's see. One card, pulling it out. Was there some funniness with deep fake? 7 of Wands, 8 of Cups, Ace of Swords. Was it Jake? Oh, that's a yes card. That's a yes card. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. We're going to go a little bit further in just a second. So what was Meghan's intention with this working pregnancy video? Editorial again, I found it very offensive. I think that no pregnant woman should act like that. I don't think that freedom of speech gives you, well, freedom of speech does give you the freedom to be absolutely vulgar, quoting Lady C. But I don't think that you should be quite that sensual when you're pregnant. You know, they make OnlyFans channels for that kind of interest. I don't think that you can't be that way when you're pregnant with your partner, but I don't think that it should be televised. So what was she thinking? What was she thinking with this crazy video? What did she think was going to be the results? World, 8 of Swords. I do think that she thought this was a great idea. She thought it was closing the chapter on being a mom, and it would bring her into this sexy starlet kind of interpretation from people. I do think that she was trying to present herself as otherworldly. I am capable of doing so many things. I can do the splits while I'm pregnant. I can balance on my head. She did not think, though, about the sanctity of her child's privacy in this moment, because that's that 6 of Pentacles in reverse. This is really for someone who left the royal family for the sake of privacy. She is really promoting herself with her children in the shadow. Again, it was done on Lilibet's birthday. I think the intention of this was to start a new chapter. She's just starting a new chapter. And this is like, now I'm the hot mom. Remember, she was the nerdy mom like 8 months ago? Well, now she's going for the hot mom. So I think this was the attempt to put that out there, and it's not really working. She's going to keep going with this, guys. I hate to say it. She's going to keep going with it. Harry is not interested. She's going to keep sending this message out. It's going to fall flat, and it is also going to expose them horribly. They are just, you know, again, the mystique of the royal family is the mystery. The things we don't see. You're not allowed in certain rooms in the castle. You're not allowed in certain sitting rooms and reception rooms, unless you're David Beckham, Sir David Beckham. They're opening the door too wide to commonality. Is the goal for Meghan to make herself as common as possible? Is that her goal? Is her goal to be super common? Is she trying to become super common? Ugh. Guys, that was like her Plenty of Fish video. I hate to say it. She's trying to show that she transcends pregnancy with her sex appeal. She's impatient about finding a new connection. She is really fighting to regain some level of sexuality, sensuality, and it's falling flat. This is, if ever, a cry for help. This is a cry for help. What the F was Harry thinking in the middle of this? What was Harry thinking in the middle of this? The hell was he thinking? Seriously. Okay. He is a dummy, officially a dummy, because this Harry that we saw, even though I just read and it said that it was the buddy, the intention behind this video was to act a fool like Harry did when he was back in the royal family, to be the cheeky chappy again. That was the presentation. Even though the cards I just got said it was the what did I say? Her photographer friend Jake. Even though the role of Harry was played by photographer Jake, I do think that the intention was to show that Harry was fun, lighthearted, cheeky chappy again. And this is what I've always said about Harry, was that he was a funny guy. He was the court jester guy in the family. He was always making jokes and saying things offhand and wearing the baseball cap backwards because he wanted to be like common American, wanted to be American. And you know, it's not going to work. We're going to find out that it wasn't him. We're going to find out that the effort was to make him look goofy and funny all over again, and it just didn't work. I think if this was Meghan's gift, what was the intention of this? Oh, she wants them to section him. That's what she's looking for. That's what she's looking for. She wants them to go, Harry's off his cracker. His cups are not in the cupboard. So, ha, 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 ha. So, I am confident that we're going to have a lot more to talk about as this week unfolds. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know down below if there's anything you want to see this week. Like I said, I'm going to try and double up the videos this week. I'm going to really try and do some production. As always, if you would like your own magical reading with me, you can book down below. Remember, my $99 sale is still on, at least for the rest of the week. You can book anytime in the future. I am still an ambassador for Otter Spirit. So if you want to get your spirit on and get some intentional jewelry, you can hit that link down below as well. And what else? It's going to be a great week. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I will see you in the future.